So it looks like we're gonna do jungle. We're gonna do jungle. Aim on like A or B. No ulti, kinda useless. No ulti, kinda useless. For now, put him at B. Decent wave clear at the jungle. Pretty prone to crowd control. Really easy to counter. Gets destroyed by a lot of heroes. He's one of the assassins that can get destroyed by glue and Phobius. Like some other assassins, like for example Fanny, glue cannot really counter Fanny since she's too fast. I think B. Alucard. B. Alucard B. Again, a lot of damage, really easy to counter. Not tanky enough to even sustain in the Lord and Turtle fights. Has high damage if you're really fed, but he's like a solo queue, pub stomper, kind of Alucard. B. Olus. Also a B. Kinda easy to counter. Gets countered by Eve. All these guys get countered by Eve. Eve Sushin. Even Sicilian, to be honest. Savior. A lot of the mages. Aurora. Vexana. Countered really hard, which is like hard meta in the mages right now. So I think also B. Same concept. Has high damage at level 12. But 2 scaling. Not really good at turtle fights. Next. Should we put Cyclops as a jungler? Cyclops jungle? Cyclops jungle. Again, no mobility. A little bit scaling. His ulti is really good now, but I don't think it's enough. Still a B. Yeah, just these are like the heroes that, just crowd control them, they're done. Not a lot of mobility. He only has movement speed. I mean, even Alucard has like a dash. And he still gets countered really hard by CC. Alright, next. Just make sure I didn't miss anyone. Fanny. A really good Fanny. Auto pick ban. Really good Fanny. Auto pick ban. Get that out of here. I don't want to play against a Fanny. Screw that. Counters a lot of mages. Counters a lot of gold laners. We're banning Fanny. Gushin. So ulti dependent, but his ulti is low cooldown. He could dodge the ult. He could dodge crowd control a little bit better with his ulti, since he's not gonna go in unless he hits his first skill. His jungle pathing is kind of slow, I'm gonna be honest with you. What do you guys think about Gushin? Yeah, a really good Fanny player is freaking insane. Gushin, A or B? I think Gushin is like more of a B as well. Just high damage, but if you mess up your combo, he's like so skill dependent. If you mess up your combo for the team fight, you're screwed. You're kind of useless for the rest of the team fight. So you need to be really good with him. Alright, next. I've seen Granger jungles. I guess he's A, because his poke is pretty decent. He's not too bad. He's range. He's not, well, this Cyclops is range, but his range is really short. Granger's range is freaking far with the ulti. So, he doesn't have to go in. I think Granger is A. He farms pretty decent as well. Granger's an A, bro. Yeah, I will, Roar. I will. Yeah, he needs a really good front line, though. If he doesn't have front line, you're kind of screwed. Hanzo. I think same concept as these guys. He's annoying, but he cannot do Lord and Turtle dances quite well. Because if you don't have a ghost, you're kind of screwed. If you don't have ulti, you're screwed. So if the enemy team knows that you don't have a ghost, they go for you in the back line, or you're kind of just left waiting for your ulti to cool down, and you're useless for the rest of the team fight. B. Really fast at jungling, though. Really fast jungler. but he's quite situational. If you have an enemy like Joy, Ling, Hanzo's screwed. And Fanny, yeah, Hanzo's screwed against those guys. But if nobody's gonna go to the back line, like even XPs could go to the like. Imagine a Hilda against Hanzo, you get destroyed in the back line. So I think he's B. He's B. Kind of bad on. He's hard to dance with at the turtle and Lord. Okay, here we go. The big guns. Yeah, Natalia against Hanzo. The big guns. Hayabusa right now is pretty darn good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Tanner's Mathilda really hard. Mathilda is like a hard meta right now. Really good against a lot of mages, especially Sushin. Eve. Decent against Sicilian. Good against Savior. Hayabusa is like an S picker ban. S picker ban. Like Hayabusa is like so good. Hayabusa is one of the only few heroes that could really counter the CC in the XP lane. CC has a hard time against Haya because he gets vengeance and he gets bursted. He doesn't have flicker. So Hayabusa is actually really good right now. Yeah. Hayabusa auto picker ban. Really? Are we really gonna put this? I've seen it. He's not that good though. He's so blue dependent. Ulti dependent as well. But his ulti is like really low cooldown. What do you guys think about this one? Isn't he slow at jungling? He's kind of slow at jungling. I think this guy's a B. I don't like him as a jungler. I've seen it though. He's kind of bad as a jungler, I'm not gonna lie. Gets countered by Mathilda. Just run away from his ulti and you're kind of good. Yeah. B. Too prone to crowd control. Harley. I think Harley might be A. Decent mobility with a second skill. You could burst down people pretty easily at the early game, but you fall off really hard late game. You fall off really hard late game. Like, there's a point where you cannot even burst anyone except for the backline at the late game. So he might be A. It really depends if you snowball. I think he's an A. Harley. Does objectives quite fast as well. He's an A. Hellcurt jungle. Global ulti. Has fear whenever he has his passive. He's quite fast whenever he's roaming around the map. He could jungle really fast. I think he's also an A. And he's one of the few heroes that are actually really good against Hayabusa. You can first kill out of the Hayabusa ulti. I think Hellcurt might be A. Yeah, but I haven't seen much Harley lately. But he definitely has pretty decent potential, to be honest with you. Decent outplay potential with the second skill. But you're such a one-dimensional jungler. Like, you're gonna second skill in, ulti, and then try to burst. That's pretty much Harley. In the early game you're good, but in the late game you fall off. For Hellcurt, you hurt late game, and you also hurt early game. And you have a global ulti. So he's like a high A Hellcurt. And you could kind of counter Hayabusa. When you're about to go for a 50-50 retro, Hellcurt could ulti and then, you know, try to turn around those team fights. Yeah, I think he's situational. I think he's more like high A. Better than Granger, I think. There we go. Anyways, next. We're gonna go through this really fast. Harina. Harina. Fast jungler. The only problem is he gets countered by a lot of XPs. Glue. Fulvius. Even Hilda. CC. Gets countered by a lot of XP laners. Really easy to kill. Really prone to crowd control. But has a lot of bursts. I think A. Hellcurt gets absolutely smashed by Fanny and Haya. No. Hellcurt is good against Haya. I don't know what you're talking about. Hellcurt counters Haya. You could literally dodge Hellcurt's ulti. I mean, Hayabusa's ulti with Hellcurt first skill. Have you never seen it? Plus he has movement speed, so he can get out of it like quite easily. And he could go into your shadow and just kill you. Karina's an A. Fast jungler, but really prone to CC, to be honest with you. Kinda one-dimensional. You're kinda just there to kill people. He might be like a low A, to be honest with you. He has movement speed, he can dodge auto attacks, but he's melee. He's not like Harley, where Harley's range. Easier to kill. Low A. Next. I'm not gonna put Kimmy, screw that. Lancelot. I think Lancelot could still work. Really good against the mages right now. Sushin. I mean, not super good against Sushin, but good against Eve. Good against Eve, Sicilian, Savior. Not bad. You could dodge a lot of ultis with you could use your second skill to dodge the Vexana ulti, dodge a Aurora ulti and stuff like that. Has outplay potential if you're a really good Lancelot. I think Lancelot might be an S. Not gonna lie. He might be an S. Like he's still very much viable, in my opinion. If the auto pick ban junglers are not there, he's still very much viable. I'm gonna be honest with you. He still hurts, and he's like versatile too. If you need more front line, you can build him tanky like Thunderwelt. But if you need more damage, you can build him damage as well. He's kind of versatile. He's pretty good, to be honest with you. Is Karina better than Alucard? Yeah. Yeah. Karina is better than Alucard. First of all, Karina farms so much faster. Karina could literally invade you in the early stage of the game. You know how fast Karina clears? You need to think about jungle pathing, not just 1v1. Anyways, let's go. Next, Ling. Ling is a S. Ling is also an S. Viable. Get to the backline really easy. Problem is, she's kind of too scaling. She's like a low S right now. Too scaling, but if you're really good Ling and you get your farm down, oh my god, it's scary. 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 Ling is an S. Better than Helcurt, better than Granger, better than Harley. Karina counters Ling, but that doesn't mean Karina is better than Ling in terms of tier list. S. Ling is still pretty damn decent. Just scaling. That's the only problem. Who else? Jungler. Lunox jungle? Nobody plays Lunox jungle anymore. I'm not gonna put that as jungler. Screw that. Natalia? No, people don't play Natalia jungle. People play Roam. Here we go. Nolan. There we go. Nolan. He's better than Lancelot, better than Ling. He could burst down heroes really easily. Has high mobility. Super fast farm. One of the fastest farms. Probably behind Suyu. His farm is one behind Suyu. Nolan is S. For sure. Before you could actually purify with your ulti, but now you can't, but he's still pretty good. Good mobility, good burst. Early game. You can even burst heroes like Hylos in the early stage of the game. Even Hilda. Depends. So I think I'm gonna put Nolan there. S, easily. Roger. Oh, I've seen Popol. Popol jungle. I've seen people use it in solo queue. B. So easy to kill. Popol is so easy to kill in team fights. You need a really good front line if you want to play Popol jungle. His clear is okay. But if you don't have Koopa, imagine your Koopa dies on a team fight. It's like, bye-bye. Bye-bye. But he's probably a little bit better. Like, maybe here. He's range. So he's like right here. Yeah, his clear is very fast. But still vulnerable to a lot of things. If glue goes into you, you're kind of screwed. CC could get into your backline. I don't even know if CC could get... No. I don't know if he could get Popol and Koopa stuck together. I'm not sure. But anyways, loses to a lot of assassins. And right now, assassin junglers are the meta. Imagine a Fanny against Popol. You're screwed. Hayabusa against Popol. I mean, Hayabusa is actually kind of bad against Popol because he has Koopa carrying damage on the ulti, but Hayabusa is still really good against Popol. Nolan freaking against Popol. A lot of heroes counter Popol right now. TC counters Popol as well. The good thing is the vision as well. The traps, the vision. Next, Roger. I think Roger is like still viable. Roger's still viable. Roger's still viable. Could be tanky, could be damage. Kinda like a Lancelot, quite flexible. Some assassins cannot kill Roger in the early stage of the game. For example, Ling. Ling cannot kill Roger at the early stage of the game. Too tanky as a wolf form. You could outplay Nolan with your first skill if you use your first skill correctly with Roger. And the bad part about Roger is he gets countered by Hylos really hard. Hylos and Hilda quite hard. So he might be like low S, high A. Low S, high A. Low S, high A. He's like a low S. Man, where should I put him? I mean, I see him more in tournament. I mean, I still see him in scrims a little bit. He's a low S. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. Low S. Yeah, low S. Anyways, next. Okay, next. Saber jungle. Okay. I think this guy's like a low, a high B, low A. Why? You're ulti dependent. Without your ulti, you're screwed. You're just like a killer. You're pretty much a killer. As a jungler, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. Yes, you counter Fanny, you counter Hayabusa in the early stage of the game if you get an ulti on them, at least. But it's hard to position yourself as a Saber. You can easily get countered. He's a B. He's melee. You're just gonna use your first skill to try and damage and DPS. Without ulti, you're kind of screwed. He's a B. Kind of sucks. I don't like, and I think his wave clear is kind of slow as well. In the early stage of the game, it's kind of slow by himself. Pretty slow. Suyu, here we go. These are the big guns. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want any arguments. Suyu is still freaking broken. Still broken. Still broken, swear to God. Pick or ban, Suyu. You guys already know. I don't have to explain it. Suyu is that broken right now. Okay? Don't have to explain it. Okay, next. We got YSS. YSS. I might adjust some of these picks later. I might put some of these at C. YSS is like a A. Good ulti, global ulti, get some vision. You get pretty decent farm. You get pretty decent survivability. And when you get farmed up, you might hurt. But he's really bad against Glue Phobius and Hilda. He's an A. He's a scaling hero. He's A. This guy's an A. Farms pretty well. Does objectives pretty fast with the passive if you do it correctly. Next. Lucas. You guys have never seen it, huh? Lucas is actually an S in the jungler. Lucas is an S, especially if you pair him up with Mathilda. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Obviously, there has been no tournaments recently with a lot of Lucas jungle, but if you see our scrims, Lucas jungle could work. Yeah, Lucas jungle could work. He just needs level 4. As long as he gets level 4, he's pretty good at jungle. Yeah, Lucas could definitely work. He's an S. He's like a low S. I'm gonna be honest with you. Next. Who else we got here? No junglers there. Alpha, here we go. Alpha is higher. There we go. There we go. Alpha. He might be higher than Nolan, to be honest. S. Easily. S. Easily an S. Easily an S. This Alpha. Really good against Phobius. Really bad against glue. Could burst. He doesn't care about high-lows. You have true damage, so he doesn't care about high-lows. You could Hilda. You don't care about Hilda as well, since you have true damage. You could counter a lot of CC with your ulti if you time it correctly. You could dodge a lot of ultis with your ulti, since you're immune while you're ulting. So Alpha's actually really good. S, but he's not picker ban like Suyu. The thing with Suyu is Suyu has mobility. Alpha doesn't have as much mobility, but they both farm really fast. So that's why. Here we go. We got Benedetta. Benedetta jungle. He's clear, slow as hell. Slow as hell. If you build tank Benedetta, maybe she's like a low A. Low A. Hard to catch, a lot of mobility. If you build Benedetta tanky, you won't be able to burst the turtle as quick. You're kind of just like a jungler split pusher. Usually you want your jungler on the Lord's side. You don't want your jungler at the split push side, since there's a lot of cases that the enemies are gonna burst down the Lord. So I'm gonna put Benedetta at A. Decent. Pretty decent. A. Nolan fell off? No, Nolan is still good. Farming speed is very, very important when it comes to junglers. And his high mobility. These guys have high farming speed, Karina and Popol, but they don't have any mobility. That's a problem. Anyways, next. What else we got here? Okay. Dairos jungle. I don't know. I'm not even gonna put Fredrin. Here we go. Here we go. Fredrin and S. He and S. He's like right here. He's right there. Right there. Right there. He and S. Fredrin is still pretty good, as long as you build Sky Guardian helmet at like the middle, at mid game. Okay, YSS is good. The problem is he's a scaling. He's scaling. That's the only problem with YSS. Yeah. Fredrin is S tier. I don't think he's pick or ban though. Anyways, yeah. Next, good CC, good turtle fight, stuff like that. Xborg. Yeah, Xborg is another utility jungler that you could use. There's a lot of Farses, there's a lot of Eves now, but he's definitely like a high A, low S. High A, low S. He's so situational. Like, if you're against a Alpha, you're really good. Xborg is really good against Alpha. But if you're against Assassins, you're screwed. You're kind of screwed, so he's like so situational. He's really good against... He's pretty decent against Fredrin also, if you keep your distance. Even Nolan. Nolan is really good against you. Lucas is really good against you. You can get your Faraga out. Ling is really good against you. Man, he might be like high A. I think he's IA. High A. Just Xborg. I think he's mainly used to counter the Alpha. And this is talking about an Alpha without Mathilda. If Alpha has Mathilda, Xborg is kind of useless. You just sustain everything and you run away from him. Anyways, yeah, Akai. I think Akai is still... He's so underrated, bro. Why nobody picked this guy? He's kind of underrated, to be honest with you. He farms pretty damn fast. He could engage for your team, or... He's really good at turtle fights. He's really good at securing objectives. This Akai. The problem with Akai is... his ulti cooldown. His ulti cooldown is so high that if you Hurricane Dance, you're kind of screwed. He might be A, like a high A. Good wave clear speed, good ganking capability. You can protect your teammates with your ulti, especially like if the enemy team has a Tigreal or an Akai, you can cancel a lot of those skills. You're good against Fanny. You're good against Joy. You're good against Nolan. He's like kind of underrated. I'm gonna be honest with you. What's the build? Tank. Oh, what's the Fred build? Molten Essence, And then if they have a high burst Sparsa like that, you need to build like Radiant or Athena's first, and then Sky Guardian helmet, and then you go from there. You can build whatever you want from there. Anyways, yeah, I think Aka is like a high A. High A. He's kind of underrated in my opinion. He might be an S, to be honest. Might be an S. He counters a lot of the meta, but not a lot of people use him, since his ulti cooldown is kind of ass. Pakito. 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 I think Pakito's an A. Like a mid. Have you seen a Pakito damage? Have you guys seen a Pakito damage? That shit hurts. He's an A. He's like mid A. Mid A, I would say. Like even higher than these guys. Like right there. Right there. Like somewhere here. Yeah, Pakito is freaking. The damage Pakito is insane. He could wait in bushes and just burst you down with like a full combo. You could counter Fanny with if used correctly, but then if against a really good Fanny, I doubt it. Against a really good Fanny, I doubt it. There's just no way. You're just insanely lucky if you get an uppercut on Fanny. Alright, next. Here we go, here we go. Joy. 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 That's how I explain Joy. Fast clear, high mobility, insane damage, good sustain because she runs away. Has anti-CC, free purify on your ulti if you have dashes. The only problem with Joy is you get countered by Hayabusa really hard. You get countered by Hayabusa pretty hard. And Fanny. And it's like a 50-50 against Suyu. And actually Fredrin might be pretty decent against Joy too. Fred build please, and why better than Nolan? Right now, Fred has a lot of CC. Like in terms of objective taking, he's better against Nolan. Yes, Nolan has higher clear speed, and actually Nolan is pretty good against Fred. Because usually Nolans would invade Fredrin at the early stage. But in terms of like overall, like Lord Dance and everything, Turtle Dance, Fred is better than Nolan. Because usually Nolan, you need to like depend on your teammate. If you don't have a frontline, you're screwed. Fredrin could frontline for you. So yeah, that's why he's better than Nolan. But I'll give you the build later, okay? I'm not a Fred player, but I'll give it to you later. Okay. Thank you for the $2 again, Rar. Popol counters Joy so hard. If Popol has ulti, yeah. But a really good Joy would not go into the Popol. It's not a 1v1, guys. Like you guys need to remember it's a team game. We talking about tournament play. We talking about people communicating to each other. Right? Bane. Easily. I think Bane is like... He's like almost like an alpha. But he's easy to kill. Like he's so vulnerable. He doesn't have anything to dodge with. Alpha could use his ulti to dodge CC, but Bane doesn't. He's scaling as well. Bane is also scaling, so he's like a high A, low S. But I think he's more here. He's kind of easy to counter, I'm gonna be honest with you. Especially with high CC. Imagine Eve, Sushin, Aurora, Vexana, Therizla, all those heroes. Even Hayabusa beats you. Unless you time your ulti correctly. You're pretty good against Fanny, as long as you have ulti. Same with Joy, you're pretty good against Joy as long as you have ulti, but if you don't have your ulti, you're kind of screwed. Right? His clearing speed is decent. More of an A. He's kind of easy to counter. The only problem is no mobility. That's where Bane sucks. No mobility. High A, no mobility. Like, Roger has mobility, that's why he's here. He can farm pretty decent. And he has survivability. He's kind of tanky in the early stages of wolf form as well. High A. High A. Alright. Anyways. Next. Who else do we have? Okay. Sun. Here we go. It's so hard because he got a buff and he's quite freaking annoying. I might put him low S. I don't play a lot of Sun, but I've gone against a lot of Suns. And he's kinda annoying. He's like a low S8. He has like a lot of potential. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sun has so much potential. He's like high A, low S. He's better. He's better than Bane. Better than Bane, I would say. His survivability is good if the enemy team is bad. But if the enemy team is good and they know how your clones work, you're kinda screwed, I'm not gonna lie. You're kinda screwed. If the enemy team is good and they know how your clones work, it's easy to read. It's very easy to read. Yeah, there's gonna be more experiments. Like, I see a lot of Suns with Corrosion Sight Thunderbolt, and like, they do 3 clones, and then they just third skill you. It freaking hurts. It could burst someone with a Thunderbolt build, Corrosion Thunderbolt build. A, high A. Sun. Next. Brats. Brats, low mobility. Also an A, I think. Needs a Mathilda to be useful, or a Florine. You need to synergize with Barats. You need a Mathilda. Without Mathilda, you're kinda useless. You're like a low A. You're like a low A. Needs a Mathilda. Really needs a without it, your mobility is so slow. TC could counter you so hard. Glue could counter you so hard. Who else? Alpha counters you really hard. And it's hard for you to catch these assassins since they're so quick. Yeah, I will put some of these junglers down here. Don't worry. Do not worry. I will put some of these junglers down here. I will adjust at the end. Anyways, next. Baksha. Better mobility than Barats. Good wave clear. He actually farms really fast. So he might be like here, A, mid A. He's mid A. Nobody uses him. He's really tanky. Gets destroyed by glue, gets destroyed by CC. You don't have like... You have decent CC with your first skill, but once you don't have your first skill, you're kind of screwed. I think mid A. Mid A. You're kind of just there. And the problem with utility junglers now is they cannot hold the Lord, guys. No matter how tanky you are, the Lord does percentage damage. So it doesn't matter how tanky you are. You need Sky Guardian and Helmet to sustain the Lord as a utility jungler. That's the hard part about Baksha and Barats. Has anti-heal, so that's good. But I think like mid-A at most. Yeah, I will put down more junglers at B tier and C tier. Wait, we'll adjust it later. Freya. Freya is like an Alucard. I'm gonna be honest with you. Straight up damage. Kinda like an Alucard. Very close to each other. Decent farm, but that's about it. Really prone to CC. Mobility, as long as you have CC, you're kinda good to go. Freya. Yeah. B. B. Next. Gwen. We'll adjust the tier list later, alright? Gwen is a... Usually jungler Gwens build tank. They're more of a setup. It's a mid-A, low-A. Mid-A, low-A. Mid-A, low-A. Farms quite well. Farms quite well. Has good setup. But if you don't have ulti, you're kinda screwed on teamfights. Honestly, almost borderline B. I'm gonna be honest with you. Low A. Yeah, low A. Anyways. Julian. You guys might be surprised. Julian is an S tier right now. Julian S tier. Farm super fast. You don't even need level 4 to be useful. You need level 3. You don't need level 4 to be useful. Level 3 you could gank. S. This guy's an S. You could literally burst down CCs, you could burst down Hylos in the early stage of the game. He's insane. S. Yeah, Julian's actually really good right now. You guys should try him out. He's actually really good. You could counter Hayabusa with your second skill if you time it correctly. You could even counter Joy if you time your knockup correctly. But it's kind of hard to do. Julian, S tier. Martis. Martis. This guy's like a high A, low B. I think really good early game. Farms really fast, has immune. He's like an objective taking machine. He's hard to catch. You cannot catch him with Tigreal because he has CC immune. So he's like a high A, low B. Good farm, but he's only single target with his ulti. So it really depends if you get your enemies low. Gets destroyed by X-Borg. Gets destroyed by Alpha. Pretty decent against assassins, I guess. He's situational. I think he's more of an A. Like a A. Low S, high A. Yeah, he can counter assassins early. And if he snowballs, he's really good. Problem with Martis, he falls off really hard. Falls off really hard late game. Falls off really hard late game. Everybody is so tanky that you cannot even ulti anyone. Unless they're like super freaking low. Falls off so hard late game. That's a problem with Martis. That's why he's good early. But late game, falls off quite hard. Next. Argus. I think I like Argus more as an XP laner. This guy's a B. Straight up damage. It's like when you're doing turtle fights or lore dances, it's kind of like you're doing a 50-50. Every single time. It's like a B. Alright, we'll start putting down heroes here at the bottom. As a jungler, I'm not a big believer of Argus jungle. You're not gonna have flicker, you're not gonna have sprint for survivability. You're screwed. Right there? See? Saber is also C? He's just annoying, but like, without ultis, like, especially late game, falls off late game as well. Who else could I put C? We'll do this for now. We'll leave that for now. Alice. She's high A. You need Mathilda, you need like utility roamers for Alice to work. She's too scaling. Too scaling, to be honest. Too scaling, this Alice. Farm's pretty darn slow. Farm's really slow. Alright, so we'll put Alice at like a A, but the potential of Alice with the right composition is good. With the right composition, she's really good. Alice. Think about it. A, but very blue dependent. Very blue dependent, by the way. Next. That freaking Yin. Not gonna lie, Yin is like an anti-assassin. Yin is a mid-A. This guy's like a counter pick machine. He against assassins, he's annoying. This guy. This guy is so annoying. Against Hayas, against Suyus, usually you win those 1v1s, but he's only good at 1v1s. After that, he's kind of screwed. If you don't snowball. Quite annoying. We played against a Yin jungle before. Really good against assassins, like I said. Yin is an A. Mid-A. Mid-A. Oh my god. Are we even gonna talk about this? Wanna talk about this? DeLong. See, this guy's ass. He just runs away and just, if you mess up your second skill, you're screwed. You have to even go into your second skill. Easily poked, squishy. See. Liam or jungle? Again, needs to be paired up with really good roamers like Mathilda. But without any enablers, you're kinda screwed. Kinda like an Alucard Freya. You're like a low B. You're a B. You're a B. Ballman. Wait, we're not done with the tier list yet. You guys gotta chill. Ballman. You're tanky, so that's pretty decent. You're like a high B, I guess. You're only good for objective taking and last hitting kills. Even in the early game, people could burst you down. You're a high B. Ballman. Just really good at objective. Really tanky. Decent sustain when you're killing the jungle creeps. But that's about it. You don't have a lot of CC. Even you can get CC'd on turtle fights. He doesn't have immune. This guy is like B. High B, low A. In my opinion. High B, low A. No CC, just good for objective taking. Falls off really hard late game. Falls off really hard late game. Can get kited by so many heroes. Anyways, there's some conditional heroes here, like Aldous. Technically, Aldous could jungle. Really useless in the early stage. Aldous 2 scaling, C tier. Aldous. He's more for split pushing. Jawhead jungle. We'll put Jawhead jungle. Jawhead jungle. Quite fast farm. Easy to kill though. If you mess up your second skill during a... Mind you, you don't have Flicker as a jungle Jawhead. You have Retribution. That makes it even worse. And his last hit on the turtle is not even good. Just B. Just a B tier. Just a B tier. Only good for fast clear. Only good for fast clear. This guy. Next. Do we have any more? Let me see. Amos jungle? No, not really, no. Dairos? I've seen Dairos jungle in tournaments. Yo, Dairos jungle might be a little bit underrated. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you could build him tanky now. Now, he doesn't have a lot of CC, but the minus armor is such a big factor, and his sustain on his passive is actually pretty damn insane. If you played the recent Dairos, he could work against, like, heroes, if there's a Hylos on the other team or a Hilda on the other team. Yeah. So, I think he's like a low A. The only problem with Dairos, no mobility, no CC, no crowd control. He has good last hit potential with his ulti, retry. So, he's a low A. Low A. The minus armor is such a big factor, I think, because people in the XP lane are just so tanky this time around. Yeah. What if you build Dairos with War Axe, huh? Sylvana jungle? We're gonna get there. Sylvana jungle. Good clear, but once you don't have your ulti, you're kind of screwed. Your second skill is very, very easy to cancel once you're in your ulti, so I would just say B. Sylvana. I've seen it before. Like when you jump in and then your second skill, people could knock you up, cancel your ulti and your second skill and freeze you. And then after that, you're kind of useless. You're useless. Carmilla jungle. Carmilla jungle, very situational. Pretty decent wave clear. Still a little bit slow. He's more of an A. Really good against utility junglers. Even really good against some assassins like Amon or Karina, who are just melee and not very mobile. Good on team fights, but the last hit potential is kind of bad. Just an A, I think. Just an A. Her clear is kind of slow. Just okay. Like a low A. Carmilla like a low A. Yeah. Anyways, anything else? Did we miss anything, guys? Masha, XP. Minthitar, XP. Belric, Rome, blah 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 blah. Valentina, Yuria. Tamus? Can Tamus jungle? Yeah, well, technically you can. I've seen it. I guess. Well, let's put Tamus in the jungle. God damn it. Tamus. No CC. Good at farming, but that's about it. That's about it. You don't have vengeance. You don't have vengeance as jungler Tamus. So you're kind of like, to be honest, you're like low B, low BC, low BC. Jungle Valentina's viable. Hell no. I've never seen that. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing Jungle Valen. I'm sorry. It's not convincing. It's not convincing enough. To be honest, like Jungle Chu is more convincing than Jungle Valentina. I've seen a Jungle Chu before. Masha, no. XP, okay, XP. La. Yuzhong. Technically, you could put Yuzhong in the jungle, but kinda ass. Chu, you could even. I'm not gonna put him in the jungle. That just makes things complicated. Okay, any more junglers that we missed? Lunox, you could technically put in a jungle, but kinda slow with clear. Who else? Technically, there are some marksmen that you could put in the jungle, but it's not. I don't suggest doing it. I think that's it. We got our jungler tier list. All right. I'm sorry. You get. How can I zoom out, guys? There we go. There we go. Screenshot. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Screenshot, guys.